All right. Welcome, welcome. We are live. Welcome to the final town hall of the program year of 2023-2024. When you jump on, please write in the chat, say hello. We're happy to have folks here. We are going to quickly get started. This is, as I said, the last town hall of our program year. We have saved the best for last. We are having a conversation about relationships tonight, and we are joined by Katie Thune of Mad Hatter Wellness. And Katie is an educator, author, and advocate for people with disabilities. She's done extensive curriculum writing on relationships and sexuality education and has partnered with Special Olympics Virginia extensively on this work, some of which she will be sharing this evening. And joining her, we are so honored to have Angela Beltran and her mom, Sarah, with us for the evening. Angela has been participating in Special Olympics since she was 7 years old, first in Virginia, and now she is a proud Special Olympics Ohioan. She competes in bowling, softball, and track and field, and I'm sure other things that even beyond those three sports. But Angela has been instrumental in some of Katie's work that she's done surrounding these relationship topics. And so we're really pleased to have these two facilitators on to lead this conversation tonight. At any point, please throughout ask questions. Feel free to respond in the chat. We will be reviewing it throughout our stream tonight. And with that, I will turn it over to Katie and let her get us started.
Yeah. Thank you, Casey. Angela and I are so happy to be here. And I'm located in Minnesota, so it's really fun since Angela's in Ohio. And so here we are connecting again. So that's really fun to talk about relationships and boundaries and people in our lives and how we feel about that and how we can try to have some healthy friendships and relationships and boundaries. And so all that good stuff. So we're really happy to be here today. I'd love to start us out by taking some deep breaths. And Angela is going to lead us with that. Show them the breathing sphere. So this is a tool that I found out about through Yoga Calm. It's a yoga curriculum out of Portland, Oregon. And I just think it's such a really great visual tool to take some deep breaths. So what we'll do is we'll take 5 breaths. And Angela, let's just show them. So she'll open the ball. So open it up and we take a deep breath in through the nose. And then she's going to close it and we exhale out the nose or the mouth. So let's take 5 deep breaths. Here we go.
Breathe in and let it out. And breathe in and out. And breathe in and out. One more. Breathe in and out.
Thank you for that. We always like to, in all of the classes that I teach and that Angela teaches with me sometimes and trainings and anything I do, I like to start with just a few deep breaths. We know that sometimes talking about relationships and boundaries can bring up some feelings for people. And so it's nice to just start off by being in this calm space. So let's pull up the slides, Casey. And I think we can just jump to slide number 3. Yeah. And I want to start things off here. So before Casey reveals the definition that we like to talk about is what is a relationship? So if this is something you want to write something in the chat, what does that mean to you? What is a relationship? And you see the picture on here. So we're kind of talking about human relationships. I mean, we know we can have relationships with animals, right? Or food. No, just kidding. But really, we can. There's all different types of relationships. But we're thinking about human relationships. So what does that mean to you?
I will offer up a word that comes to mind: togetherness.
That's a good one. Togetherness. And I see that Kevin wrote in the chat, see you at summer games. And that's a thing, right? Like seeing people, that's a part of a relationship, being together. And then Aaron said to me, it's based on how well you know someone. Ooh, I like that. Or how comfortable you are with them. Even if it is a support animal or service animal. Yes, absolutely. How comfortable you are. Yes. Let's see. Oh, Rachel said loving your boyfriend or family or friends. Jerry said friendship and much more. Yes. And I love the much more, right? There's so much about relationships besides just friendship. Yeah. Angela, what do you want before we reveal it? Let's see. Angela's taught a lot of classes with us. What do you think about when you hear that? What is a relationship? What does that mean to you?
A relationship to me is getting to know people and finding out what they like and don't like, and you can ask them questions about, like, what is your favorite movie, what's your favorite sport, what's your favorite subject to do, or
I love that. Yeah, getting to know someone, right? I think that's big. Isabel says sharing a life with someone.
Yeah, that's what another thing that I think it's mean to me.
Well, Casey, let's reveal the definition. So when we think about a relationship, we're thinking about a connection. So like Casey said, togetherness. Oh, and I see Emily here said a relationship is a bond that two people share. It could be friendship, family, romantic too. So great. So a connection, right? So we're connecting with someone, and between two or more people. Like if we have relationships with all sorts of people. So let's go to the next slide.
And Ron Swanson joke in the chat that needed some
relationships can also be Ron Swanson at times. Ron Swanson has epic relationships. Great. So something that I like to think about, or something that I think is important to think about when we're talking about relationships, is that, well, relationships take work, right? And it's not always just fun and games and easy. Sometimes it can be hard. And so what we're going to think about today is thinking about what's healthy, what's unhealthy, right? What is a healthy relationship? What is an unhealthy relationship? And here are just a few examples. And so I'm going to invite you to add some. I'm going to talk a little bit about the healthy side first. If you want to throw things in the chat, make some comments. Some healthy behaviors or actions in healthy relationships: safe, feeling respected, it feels good. So that is what a healthy relationship is, right? So what else do you think about with healthy relationships? What do we want out of healthy relationships? And all kind of relationships. I mean, we'll get a little bit more into this, but some people were saying it could be friendship, it could be family, it could be romantic, all these different types of relationships. So what does healthy, what else would you add to that list? Understanding. Thanks, Aaron. Yes, understanding. I love that. Yeah. Who's felt misunderstood in life, right? Oof, it's hard. So a healthy relationship is one that has understanding, right? We understand the person. Yeah. And that feels really good. Yeah. Let's see. I see excitement. Yes. Excitement in healthy relationships. Acts of kindness. Ooh, I love that. Yeah. And then being kind. Yes. Being kind to others. Yes. So good. Anything you want to add, Angela? What else would be in a healthy relationship?
Well, to me, a healthy relationship is, not everyone is really perfect. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful who you might get to meet or who you might get to know, whether or not the person is safe with you or respected with you, or you feel good by meeting him or her for like the first time. So
Yes, I love that. Someone else said being happy. Another person, let's see, Jerry said meaningful inclusion. Oh, I love that. That's great. Emily said empathy. Yes, yes, empathy. Ooh, that's a good one. That is that and that can be a hard skill. It's having healthy relationships is it's tough sometimes, right? And it can be a challenge. So what about the unhealthy side? So what else would you add to that side? Some things that I have here for unhealthy relationships. They may be unsafe, right? Not always, but it could be unsafe. It's kind of a disrespected feeling. That would be on the unhealthy side, and maybe kind of feels bad or icky.
Katie, I noticed that you said the word that it feels these ways, but not always.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like it feels these ways a lot. Is that kind of a fair statement to say that it feels bad a lot, and that's what makes it an unhealthy relationship?
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's just an example, right? It might not always feel bad. Sometimes we might be in unhealthy relationships and we don't feel bad at all. Like it maybe feels okay. But maybe the person is, as Jerry wrote on there, controlling, right? Maybe they're very controlling, or maybe they make you sad. But Rachel, let's see, not being respected, maybe, is that?
Rachel, can you rewrite that? Not being yourself, maybe?
Oh, not being yourself, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely. Another person said when someone isn't being kind. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or if you just can't be yourself. And sometimes we don't see that. Like we might have this feeling of sort of pretending to be someone else, right? We want to fit in with that person. And that might not always, I mean, that's kind of confusing. It might not actually feel bad because we're happy when we're with that person. But if we can't be ourselves, I mean, we really want to be ourselves and go back to what someone said earlier of understanding. And so if we can be ourselves and that person understands us, that's pretty awesome.
Rachel also put not liking yourself, I think is what that is. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. Too. Angela, what else would you add to that side for the unhealthy?
Well, you really, really shouldn't be in an unhealthy relationship, but you can get hurt if you're like around a bully or a crook or an unkind stranger. And that could really, really hurt that can really just hurt you. And sometimes you just need help. And sometimes you just need to talk to an adult. And that's why Paige and I really did talk about healthy. We want to really stick to the green flag, being in a healthy relationship as much as we can.
Yep. That's great. Jerry said it, exclusive, not being with family and friends. Yes. If someone is, kind of not letting you be with the people that you want to hang out with, that's really tough.
Yeah. That could be, some sort of what bullies could do to you.
Yes. Another person said when someone's not considering your feelings.
Yeah. That's being really unhealthy.
Aaron shared commitment. Yeah. Commitment should be part of a relationship, whether it's friendship or romantic, right? Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm committed to this friendship or romantic relationship or family relationship or work relationship, right? We have all these different relationships, or athlete, coach, Special Olympics relationships. Yeah. I'm committed. I'm doing this. Let's see. Someone said bottling up your emotions. Yes. Yeah. Really great. Let's go to the next slide. Thanks everyone for sharing. So we, talking about healthy and unhealthy relationships. Now we're kind of adding another thought to all of this is boundaries. So when we talk about a boundary, we talk about it as, well, we have all kinds of boundaries, right? You have them in Special Olympics, like in sporting events, right? There's a boundary, out of bounds, that you've heard that before. But when we're thinking about with relationships, a boundary is a line that other people cannot cross unless you say it's okay. And I think that that's a pretty cool thing, because it's like you choose your boundaries, right? It's a rule for yourself about how you want others to treat you. And, what I want us to think about a little bit is like, what are your boundaries? I mean, if we go to the next slide, I think that one is, there's this a little more info on boundaries that I want to talk a little bit about. So with boundaries, they might change. They will change. Boundaries will change over time with different people in different places. We learned a lot about how boundaries changed with COVID, right? We learned a lot about that. There was a lot of boundary changes with that, different types of touch or no touch. We know that boundaries at work might be different from boundaries out in the community or at a sporting event, something like that. I love what Jerry just said. My boundaries are pretty defined, which is so great because Jerry, I have heard so many people just like, I don't know what my boundaries are. So I love that. And then asking first is my policy. And Angela, what does that mean when you ask permission for a type of touch? What's that word? We talked about it a lot, Angela. You
Consent.
Consent. Yes, right. So that is just asking permission, right? Is consent. And that's a big piece of thinking about boundaries. We also know with boundaries, they can be physical, like with space, with touch, but also emotional. Like if someone asks you a question and it's kind of crossing a boundary, we want to make sure that we're thinking about that. Let's see. We also have different boundaries with all the different people. So like our family boundaries might be a little bit different from friendship boundaries or Special Olympics boundaries. A boundary with a coach might be different from a boundary with an athlete who might be a really good friend, or vice versa. We know at work, we have, different boundaries at work, or if you're in school, there's definitely boundaries there. And then of course, romantic boundaries. I mean, that's a whole other thing. So, okay, this is another joke. Ron Swanson, I would say my boundaries can be sometimes be like Ron Swanson. Yeah. So that's great. Awesome. I'm just seeing.
I don't know fully what that means, so feel free to share more about that if you want in the chat, Jerry.
And then Aaron said, I mean, it's basically saying if someone needs to bring eye drops or ear drops to the field and they have a reaction because they couldn't bring the drops. Can you add more to that, Aaron?
Is that like a boundary, like maybe a rule? Like is a boundary different than a rule? I wonder if we're talking about rules, like you're not allowed to bring something to competition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's what that's getting at.
Yeah, that's yep, like health boundaries. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's great. So like as we, keep talking about these things, well, let's go one more slide. I want to show this picture because this sometimes can help. It helps us to think about the different types of touch with boundaries and the different types of touch that we use with all the different people in our lives. So this we call the relationship and touch circle. And in the center, that's where we go. And then the circle closest to us, closest to the self, is the hug circle. So this is a deeper type of touch, and it's really important to ask permission or ask for consent, as Angela said. And then getting out further, it goes to the side hug circle. So a little less touch. And then maybe the shake hand circle, less touch. And that might also include things like fist bumps, or Angela, what else have we put in the shake hands? It's like hand to hand, right? So it could be like a fist bump or like
Oh, or a high five.
Maybe a high five. Yeah. Maybe
A
like
lot of people, athletes, give high fives and
high fives. And
maybe
that
a
would be
little
the same
hug
as
or a side hug or something.
yeah, and that's the shake hand circle there. And then further out, there's maybe not even touch. But it's some type of greeting, and that would be the wave circle, right? And that might also be like, what are other things that how we could greet someone or something? If we could wave, we could we could give peace fingers, we could nod or smile
or thumbs up.
What?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. We can like give someone thumbs up. Yeah, double thumbs up. Yep. And then we have like the one way, way, way far out. So that's like the do not touch. So this is just like, we don't have to wave to everybody, right? We don't need to do anything. There's no touch, nothing. And the really important thing to think about with this is like, you choose, you get to choose. So if someone asks you for a hug, you don't have to give them a hug, right? But also, I think we have to remember that if we really want to give someone a hug, what if they don't want the hug, right? So then we need to respect that as well, for sure. Someone said, yeah, shoulder touch would also be one I use. That might be like a sort of like a side hug, that shoulder touch. You have like a pat on the shoulder or something like that. Yeah.
I want to, this is just a couple minutes ago, but Emily had shared a really good boundary, just I think from the slide before. Saying no was a boundary that she shared.
I love that. I'm learning to say no to more things. Me too, Emily. It's a thing that takes practice. It definitely takes practice, but it's so good. Yeah, I'm learning to say, I used to have a hard time with that because I didn't want to disappoint anyone, but saying no is healthy. And thank you so much for sharing that, because when people disappoint us, like when someone says no to something to us, it kind of hurts, right? And it might make us feel kind of sad. Oh, they didn't want to give me a hug. But we know, it's okay. It's fine, right? We can still be friends, and we just didn't want to hug that day. That's fine. And so it's the same thing. Like, we can also say no, and thinking, oh, we're going to disappoint them. But that's a part of life. Disappointment's a part of life. That sounds kind of sad, but like, right? And that's okay. Or rejection. Like if someone says no to a side hug or a hug or something, that's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Paris said, I normally do fist bumps or handshake to show good sportsmanship. Ooh, I like that. To fellow competitors, opponents, and tell them good game or great job. Yes,
these are really great stuff.
Really good stuff, right, Angela? This is fun. Caitlin said, I'm one of those people that loves giving hugs, but know a few athletes who don't like to hug. Sometimes it's hard to know with athletes who likes the hugs and who doesn't. And so what can we do? How do we know? Angela, what are we going to say? Like, how do we know if someone wants a hug or if it's okay to give them a hug?
Well, well, if they're feeling down, or if they really want a hug, they could just find someone who really loves hugs, just like that person. Like me, like that person. I love hugs, and I love.
And then, but how are they going to know? How are they going to know that they can give them the hug? What are they going to ask?
They're going to ask. They have to ask, "Can I hug you?"
Yeah, can I hug you? Can I give you a hug?
Absolutely. They want their consent. They want to find out, can I have your consent to hug you?
Yeah.
That's it.
Great. Okay. Let's see. Anything else you think that you want to share about this, Angela, that you're thinking?
So, exactly. Everyone, this is really what every athlete should always carry inside of them, and communicate with their friends and do what they want to do and do what they don't want to do. But every one of those athletes out there can wave, shake hands, give them hugs, give them high fives, show them what a winner they are, and they are the best team that they could be. And the team is yourself and everyone around you.
I love that. And I keep thinking back to who just said that about the, wait, where did it go? Who just shared that we were talking about that, the disappointment. No, the disappointment. Well, the same thing. Yeah. I just keep thinking back to that, Emily. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I just think that this is something that could be really helpful as we're thinking about what a healthy relationship is for us and how to make our relationships more healthy. If we're always just saying yes to types of touch that we don't really want, I don't really feel like hugging today, and I just say yes because I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever, that's not necessarily a healthy relationship, right? And so, I mean, it might be a healthy relationship, but we're working on being ourselves, as people said earlier, not pretending to be who we aren't, and just really work towards what is a healthy relationship for me, and how am I going to make my relationships healthier? Yeah.
Everyone really
Jerry just put this.
Yeah.
Jerry just put this really well.
The power of yes and no is important to set boundaries. Yes. Yes. I love that. And Angela, what were you, and I think or was your mom, Sarah?
Cut you off, Angela?
Oh, sorry. Well, I just said a little bit that that's why everyone should really live on the healthy side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Feels good, right? I also learned, Aaron said, although I also learned that compromise in all relationships is a good thing. Okay, let's go to the next slide. It's like you read my mind, Aaron. I love this.
Aaron, wow. How'd you know?
Compromise. So like this is something that we talk about, and when I talk about like one of the pieces that makes a healthy relationship is that there's compromise and we take turns, right? And so I just wanted to kind of put the difference up here, because sometimes we sort of interchange them, but like, so taking turns, right? Both people get a chance to do something. One person chooses the movie this Friday and the other person chooses the movie next Friday. So we take turns, or where we're going to go out to eat or something like that. But then there's compromise. So we're working together to come up with a plan, whether it's where we're going to go to eat, or where we're going to, what movie we're going to go to. I mean, if we were just taking turns, what if someone's like, we're going to see this scary movie, right? Well, I don't want to see a scary movie. Like, even if it's their turn to pick the movie, that's scary for me. That's something I don't want to do. And so I would prefer to have a compromise to decide together. What are we gonna, what are we going to watch? Let's see. Nicholas said, I think it's not just the realization, it's the confidence you need to be building in these boundaries. Yes. I mean, and confidence and practice. Like, it takes practice to do this stuff and to figure out, well, it takes time to figure out what our boundaries are and what is healthy to us. But then we need the confidence to work on it, and we need the time to practice it. Yeah. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Jerry said, saying no doesn't mean disappointment. Right. It just means give them some time to figure things out. I love that. Yes. Like, it's okay to say no. And someone shared with, people have shared before, like, no can be a complete sentence. We don't need to always explain ourselves why I don't want to give a hug today, or why I'm not feeling it. Right. Oh, nope. I mean, you sure can. Oh, I didn't really feel like a hug today. I'm not feeling very good, or whatever, but I think it's nice that it's okay. Yeah. Saying no doesn't mean disappointment. That's so great. Thanks, Jerry. All right. So we are going to watch some scenarios. This is a video that we made with Special Olympics Virginia, and it's about compromise. So it just kind of shows us, what could this look like? So we're going to watch 3 different scenarios of this video. And Angela is one of the stars in the video. And you might recognize, if you are athletes or people from Virginia, a part of Special Olympics Virginia, you might recognize some of these people in the video. And so we're going to watch, like I said, we're going to watch these 3. And then we're going to think about it. Okay, what did you think? Do you think that scenario, some of the scenarios are healthy and some are maybe unhealthy? So you're going to decide, is it a thumbs up? That would be healthy, or thumbs down if it's unhealthy. Or you could even go sideways. Actually, I'm not sure if that's something that you can do a thing. You could write that in the chat, I suppose.
Or you could do both in the chat. In the
You can
chat,
pose
you
in
can
the
find
chat.
your emojis. You can do
Yeah, so
thumbs
I
up
think
and
like
thumb
this
down.
is the time to use emojis if you'd like, right? After we watch these, each scenario. And so this first scenario, look at, there she is. There's our star. All right, let's watch it. Can you put the subtitles on too? Casey, okay.
Hop in, Gloria.
Yes.
Looks like it's going to be a tight
Can
squeeze
you put
today.
the subtitles on? See that? Yeah, perfect. Okay, thanks.
Oops.
Oops.
Hop in, Gloria. Looks like it's going to be a tight squeeze today.
Nope. No way, Jose. Nope. Knock it off, Anna.
Come on, everybody in the van now.
All right.
Love that.
So, what do you think? You can show us in the chat. Find those emojis. Was that healthy? Thumbs up. Unhealthy? Thumbs down. What do you think?
Aaron.
So, nope. I see a thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. Come on, Daniel, thumbs down. That's right. Yeah, they did you all did, Angela and the crew, they did a great job acting in that. So yeah, I think unhealthy. Click forward one more, Casey, and I think that's what we have totally decided. Yeah. Yeah, and people are saying I recognize a few people. That's so great. So next slide, question for you all. What could some of these people in the video, what could Gloria, who's Angela played Gloria, what could Gloria do differently? What's maybe something that she could have done? Or maybe what could Michael and Anna have done differently? What do you think about what you just saw?
Angela, I know you have all the secrets, but do you want to share a little?
What do you think? Yeah, Angela. So you played Gloria. What could Gloria have done a little bit differently, do you think? In that
Well, Gloria, after the coach told Gloria that it was time to get on the van, Gloria would have told the coach this. Coach, an athlete won't let me sit with him or her.
Wow.
And the coach would have done something about it.
I love it. Like just maybe asking for a little support and a little help.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone said there was no communication, right? She could have asked if he could move to the next seat. Someone said, yeah, one guy was distracted. So take out distractions. The cell phone was a distraction for healthy communication, right? Someone said maybe she could have asked permission to sit next to them. Yep. Let's see. Someone was trying to get on the bus to find a seat and she couldn't squeeze. Oh, that's what you wrote. And she couldn't squeeze past a guy to sit.
Someone said the video was confusing.
Oh, yeah. You didn't let her
explain what happened.
Let's see. Jerry said, within my job, compromises and taking turns are always every day in every given project. And I think that's a really good point, Jerry, because we have all these different relationships, right? And we have work relationships. And there is a lot of compromise that needs to happen, healthy compromise in work relationships. Mm-hmm. That's really great. Let's see. Let's see. Paris said, let's see, I only give side hugs. And if my teammates are down or going through a tough time, I think that's great. I'm always the one who cheers them up. That's really sweet. Tell them we can work things out without getting mad or upset. Paris is in unified sports, so that's a good thing. Have good relationships, healthy relationships with fellow athletes. Yep, and unified partners and coaches. Made many friends. I love that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so great. And one last suggestion from that was from Emily. Maybe ask Daniel politely if he could move. I love that. Okay, let's go to the next scenario. Okay, let's watch it again. See if they do a little better this time. Let's see.
All righty.
Hop in, Gloria. Looks like it's going to be a tight squeeze today.
Nope. No way, Jose. Nope. Hey, knock it off, Anna.
Hey now, we need to respect each other and stop all the roughhousing. Michael, please move over so Gloria can sit down.
Fine.
Okay, so what do you think?
Forgot to stop it.
Hop in,
there.
Gloria. Looks like it's going to be a tight squeeze today.
There we go.
Sometimes it just like
Oh my God.
automatically starts. Okay, what do you think?
Okay.
Healthy, unhealthy, or maybe a mix of the two? Like, what do you think for this one? And so Erin said, I want to add something. Yes. The better you get along with someone, the more likely to go above and beyond for them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Angela, you kind of got your way. You got a seat as Gloria. You did finally get a seat this time.
Yeah, I'm seeing on here, like, yeah, it was kind of a mix, right? Like he was kind of, I don't know. It seemed like there were some really crabby feelings and, fine, I'll move. And yeah. So let's see. Question. Next slide.
Oh, sorry.
Is
Great comments.
like, what did you all feel about, like, how did you feel about how he responded, Michael? Mm-hmm. Can you think of anything he could have done differently this time? Yeah, because Erin said the one guy is still unhappy sitting next to them. Yeah, right. Yeah. So how what do you think? What could Michael have done a little differently? Or maybe there's something that Gloria could have done. Or, I mean, this time the coach stepped in, right? So that helped a little bit. Yeah, and Isabel said he wasn't very receptive, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think he did what Angela wanted? I mean, Angela as the actress, as Gloria. Do you think Gloria was happy when she got her seat?
No, the moment after she was Gloria tried to struggle to get in her seat, there was really a negativity in the scene. So Gloria felt a little down, thinking that she was trying to really find a seat in that big old van, and she really, really felt terrible and down to not find a seat.
And I do see there's a couple of suggestions for maybe what Gloria also could have done. Maybe ask if she can sit with someone else, like maybe there was another, or to move, if he really wasn't wanting it. Or maybe she could even, let's see, someone said, ask Michael, why are you unhappy? Are you okay? I think that's great too. Yeah. Let's watch the third scenario, third and final, and let's see if they can figure it out this time.
Hop in, Gloria. Looks like it's going to be a tight squeeze today.
Michael, would you mind moving over a little so I can sit next to you?
No problem.
Thanks. I know you like the window seat, so we could switch on the ride back.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, what do you think? Healthy? Unhealthy? There definitely seemed to be a little more joy in that scenario, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing, someone put 4 thumbs up. I love it. Thumbs up. A heart. Someone said healthier. Yes. 20 thumbs up. Yes. Nice job, Gloria. Angela.
Yes.
Okay, click one more forward. Casey, let's see. What do we decide? Yes. That was good. And it kind of, to me, it was all from Gloria, right? From Angela's character. And I think it just shows the boundary of maybe he just really didn't want her to touch him, right? Or maybe he was just feeling crabby or something. And then she just, in this wonderful, kind way, hey, Daniel, do you think you could move over? And, and then offer this incredible compromise, right? Then on the way back, we can switch. Someone said communication and compromise. Yeah. All right. So what do you think? How did compromising and taking turns help make this situation more healthy? That's what we want, right? We want healthier relationships, healthier friendships. Well, how did that help to make it more healthy? And Isabel said communication. Yes. I mean, that's yes. We need communication when we're compromising. And it can be hard because sometimes we're not always sure how to communicate something to someone. But it's a pretty high level skill. And it takes a lot of practice to figure that out. Yep. Yeah. And then Aaron said, yeah, the one guy's still on the phone. Yeah. He was just kind of, doing his thing, enjoying the ride, staying out of it. Emily said it considers the feelings of both sides. Yes. Yeah. I like that. Anything you want to add, Angela? What do you think?
Well, for one thing, I did love playing the character as Gloria. I always wanted to be, but yeah, everyone should always compromise, no matter where they go, who they play with, and just how to get to know, and always have the consent before they do what they don't or do want to do.
I really like that you said that, Angela, because consent is a big part of it. And so when we're thinking about compromise, consent still needs to be part of that, right? And when we're compromising, we don't want to compromise on our values or what is healthy or unhealthy what if something feels unhealthy to me, if someone's okay, so you don't want to hug me, or you want to hug and I want to high five. So let's settle on a side hug. Well, if the person doesn't want to do that, that's not something that we need to compromise on, right? So we don't want to worry. We don't want to think so much about not respecting ourselves when we're compromising, right? Yeah. It's great to try new things. So if we're going to compromise and we're going to try this interesting restaurant that, you've never been a part of and you've never tasted, that could be a really great thing. But we want to make sure that it's safe, that the compromising is safe for sure.
One thing that I was thinking about watching that last scenario that I really liked is that there's not one way to communicate in a healthy way and to have good compromise. That shuttle we don't have time for it, but if you guys had filmed, you could have filmed 20 other scenarios of it going well and being like a thumbs up.
Mhm.
Where maybe Michael's character initiates and he says, I really like the window seat. I don't want to move, or, a variety of things. So I think that always makes me feel better that there's not just one way to do it. Like it's relationships are just about figuring it out and being thoughtful, and we make mistakes and, but just trying our best to care for other people and consider other people.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Okay, so moving forward, we have some things to think about as we're sort of ending our time together. So thinking all of these, what is a relationship? What are boundaries? What's healthy and unhealthy? What if you, leave here tonight and you have more questions? Who are you going to talk to? Let's do that one first. Who can you talk to if you have questions about relationships, boundaries, safety? Who would you talk to, Angela?
I would talk to my mom or my sisters.
Yes, your mom or your sisters. Yes.
Yeah. Katie, who's someone you can talk to?
I think I would talk to my sister. Yeah. And a couple of really good friends, I think, for me. Yeah. How about you, Casey?
Yes, similar. I think I would talk to my mom and my sister, and similar, a couple of good friends as well. Maybe a couple of mentors, maybe similar to like a Special Olympics coach, someone who's a little bit older than me and I look up to.
I love that. And I always think that it's kind of nice to have, more than one person, right? That you could go to ask these questions. Like there's some questions I wouldn't ask my friend, I would ask my sister, right? Or there might be questions that I have that I might really, really need to talk to my mom about it, or maybe a therapist, right? Someone said my mom or my aunt. Another person said parents, siblings, friends. Yes. Let's see. My brother. And let's see, other friends. My officer friends. Oh, yeah. So yeah, sometimes we have friends that have specific skills and knowledge that we can ask questions. I mean, a lot of my friends know the work that I do on healthy relationships and boundaries, and they'll ask questions about that, right? So it's nice to have people in our life that kind of can have some thoughts about some of this.
Angela was laughing. I bet she has people in her life too that they know you're like a relationship pro now, that they ask you questions about those things.
Right, Angela?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, keep writing down who you would go to. But now I come to this time right now in our last few minutes together. I really want to make sure that we're answering your questions. So do you have a question that Angela or myself or Casey or Angela's mom, Sarah, could answer? Questions about relationships, boundaries, compromise, taking turns. Yeah. So as you're thinking of your questions, I do want Angela to share. She has done some teaching with us, teaching some of these classes. And Angela, can you share a little bit about that and what that was like?
Well, yeah, I would love to. So it really all started with, I think someone really needed someone to to be an expert of teaching this process. So I think Katie, you and Paige really reached out to me and asked me to teach this thing to the students online, and I really enjoyed it. And Paige and I would take turns discussing what we're going to read and what we're going to say. And
Mhm.
I also told Paige my favorite subject to what we were teaching the students, and it was about basically I knew about friendship and relationships. So
Mhm.
yeah, and working with Paige really was a phenomenal thing, and I think Paige really liked it too. And the best gift of all was an Amazon gift card I got from all of you from Mad Hatter
Yeah.
to show how grateful and thankful you all are for putting me in your organization. And I'm really am happy as an athlete to encourage people to find out what relationships and friendship is. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for and then by the way, I really loved being in that video, and I really was glad and asked to be in this video played as Gloria. So
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. So Angela, we've got a question in the chat.
Here we go.
How do you remove yourself from a toxic or an unhealthy relationship in a healthy way? Oh, I love that. And that's hard to do. I have removed myself from unhealthy relationships, and it took a lot of courage, and it took a little bit of time. But for me, what I think I did, and I think is really healthy, is to just step back a little bit, take a little break from having so many conversations with this person, and then once like things are maybe later, have a conversation. That being said, not all unhealthy relationships need to have that conversation. And if you're asking a toxic, that would be really, really unhealthy, right? Really icky relationship. And sometimes that just means done. And that might mean blocking the person on social media. It might mean blocking their number, like things like that. We want to make sure we're healthy. What I would suggest to people to get out of unhealthy relationships is to find someone to support you and help you figure that out. Talk it through. Maybe they'll have some ideas for you. Maybe you could go together to end this relationship. But it definitely takes courage. Let's see. Another question based on the boundary thing, but is there such a thing as too many boundaries? Oh, that's a really good question. Or do you think some people need more boundaries than others? I mean, I don't think there's anything such as too many boundaries. And the thing about boundaries is they're going to change, right? So we're going to have so many boundaries because I might have these boundaries at work. I might have these boundaries at home. I might have these boundaries at home. But whether I'm feeling happy or if I'm feeling frustrated, right? So even then I'm going to have different boundaries. But the other side of that question, do you think some people need more boundaries than others? Yeah, I do. Right. And some people need more reminders to respect other people's boundaries and things like that. Some people need a little pressure from a friend to say, like, it's okay to say no, like it's, to help each other out a little bit. So I think it's, yeah. Anything, Angela, that you'd want to add for something like that about boundaries?
let me see. Well, a lot of people, are like in Special Olympics. Yeah, people have a lot of courage or faith in them, what sport they do. But sometimes there always need to be a lot of compromising. Like the coaches, for example, they say to the teammates, they say, "All right, everyone, let's stay together and have fun, or do your best." And so there's sometimes athletes have questions to their coaches, say, in Special Olympics, it's really, really a fun thing, but you really need to be careful who you meet or who you spend time with, or yeah, but otherwise we just get to know everyone around you, and you are part of the team, and the team is really all you. So,
and I really like what Angela just said about being careful, right? Just being careful and thinking about how something makes you feel. If you cross someone's boundary or if someone crosses yours, it's, we can move through that most of the time, right? If I mean, you can try and you can apologize. Oh gosh, I'm sorry I didn't ask before giving you a hug. Or, ooh, next time I'll be sure to ask, or next time I'll do this, right? And and that's how we learn, and that's how we practice. And I think, yeah. And someone else said kind of what you just said, Angela. It's nice to build friendship with teammates and getting to know people on your team. Yeah, that's really great. Any other questions? We're just about at our time, and Angela will close us out with some deep breaths. But if there is anything you can think of that we should ask, Casey?
I do have a question that's been lingering. And I just really loved the video. I really loved all of the scenarios that you guys showed us. And I was thinking about how we were talking about saying no, and that can be a healthy way to communicate boundaries. And Daniel or Michael in the video was like, like his body language was very closed off, and he was saying no to Gloria or Angela. But we kind of all agreed that it wasn't very healthy the way he was communicating. Can you I don't know if I have a great clean question from that, but I feel like you probably know where I'm going with this. Like, what's a healthy way that he could have, because he said no.
He did, right? He communicated no. He didn't want, whether it was that he didn't want her touching him, right? Because when she asked him to move, he was fine with that. But it seemed like he just really didn't like her touching him. I mean, I'm guessing that's maybe what was happening. We don't really know, right? We weren't in his head, but I think, we all communicate in different ways, and we're not all able to say no or say yes with words. And we might just use gestures or like arms crossed, something like that, or turning the head away. And so I think, taking some time to think for you, like, how do you communicate no or yes or something to someone?
That scenario I also liked in the end, it kind of closed it up for us a little bit, because it looked like everyone was on the same team. So back to what Angela was saying, maybe it wasn't like Michael was a stranger, but he was someone that Angela and Daniel or Michael had this relationship. They were teammates. They knew each other. So maybe there was a little bit of safety there to kind of, for the coach to say, hey, Michael, you should, offer that up, even given him kind of communicating like that he didn't want to. It seemed like it was a little bit of that, pushing back was, at least somewhat okay in those scenarios.
Exactly. So let's close things up. And again, if you can turn off the slides. If you leave here and you still have questions, you can reach out to Special Olympics Virginia. You can reach out on social media, right? You can reach out to me, Mad Hatter Wellness, on social media. And I hope you do have questions as you start thinking about this a little bit more. I think we're all, as humans, learning how to, as Emily said, how to communicate better and to be kind in this world. Like, we're all learning and practicing. And who are we in this world? And how can I be more kind? How can I communicate my needs and my boundaries to people? So it just takes practice, lots and lots of practice. So Angela, you got that breathing ball still?
Got it.
Okay, let's take some deep breaths.
Here we go. Breathe in, open. In, out. That's one. Breathe in. And out. 2. In. And out. 3. 4. One more. And 5.
Oh, so great. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you everyone. This has been just lovely. And I hope, someone else is sharing about a past relationship and seeing a therapist. I think that that's just really great to think about. Who am I going to talk to when I have some of these questions and I want to do this? How am I going to take care of myself? Paris says taking yoga classes to work on staying positive and motivated. So I think, this is all really great stuff. And I hope that this is just one conversation, right? That we continue to think about these things with the people in our lives and how that works for us. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight.
Yes. Thank you all for the great conversation. And Katie and Angela, just thank you so much for leading us so well and just for this really dynamic conversation. This was really wonderful and we're so grateful.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.